Ever wonder what makes food taste so good? It's not always just about adding the right seasonings. Food science plays a big part in how flavors are developed and affects the foods you eat every day. I'm Betty Gold, Senior Food Editor for Real Simple. Today on Something to Chew On, I'll share a recipe that breaks down the science of deliciousness. Fun fact, the same thing that makes you want to drink a coffee or eat a cookie is what's responsible for making a perfectly seared piece of meat so appealing. Today on Something to Chew On, we'll be breaking down the science behind making a perfect dish by utilizing the Maillard reaction. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry. You don't have to be a scientist to understand this one. The Maillard reaction is what happens when proteins and sugars in and on your food are transformed by heat into something more delicious and palatable. It also entails browning, sometimes crisping, but always just makes your food taste better. So we're gonna start by parboiling our potatoes before we roast them. This helps them get really tender on the inside. So we're putting baby Yukon Gold potatoes into our pot and covering it with water. Gonna add some salt, can be generous. And then we're gonna turn the heat up to high. Parboiling the potatoes helps to soften their insides before the roasting begins, so you won't be tempted to burn the outsides of your potatoes in exchange for less raw interiors. Basically, it keeps the balance between a tender interior and a crisp exterior. All right, we are gonna take these potatoes and set them on a sheet pan. Make sure they're super dry here because any moisture will prevent the Maillard reaction. Let's flatten them with the cup. Flattening your potatoes increases the surface area that'll be exposed to the hot, dry air of the oven, which means that more potato gets browned and crispy thanks to the Maillard reaction. We're gonna hit these with some olive oil, salt and pepper, and then put them into the oven. So for our steak, we're gonna start by preheating a tablespoon of vegetable oil over medium-high, and then while that's preheating, let's season the steak with salt really well on both sides. It's been about a minute. This feels really nice and hot. Listen. It's all about understanding and manipulating heat, moisture, and time. Your steak needs to go into a piping hot cast iron pan so that its surface gets sufficiently hot and dehydrated enough for the Maillard reaction to kick in, which happens around 300 degrees. That's when you'll see the steak start to turn brown. The outside of our steak won't caramelize in a boiling pot of water or even in a cast iron skillet over low heat. The method of sparking the Maillard reaction in our roasted potatoes is very similar to what we're doing with the steak. Nailing that perfectly crispy roasted potato is all about manipulating heat, meaning using lots of it and eliminating moisture. All right, we are gonna dress this bitter green salad and give it a toss. So today we use the Maillard reaction to sear a steak and to roast potatoes, but whatever it is that you're making for dinner tonight, you're probably gonna use it too. If you like this video and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a thing.